$80 million in less than a year, $226,000 a month with one employee, brand new company, sold for over $1 million, $45,000 a month, $100,000 a month. Yeah, this is insane. In fact, this is hands down the biggest money-making opportunity I've ever seen in my 25 years of doing business online. And maybe you remember this video right here. I put this video out November of 2022, and it took off like crazy. This was back when AI was pretty new. I came out with this video talking about how you can make little programmable tools with ChatGPT in a super simple way. Some people took advantage of what I taught and got amazing results. Here's another video where I talked about how to use custom GPTs within ChatGPT to make money online. Again, some students took me up on this and did really well. But now, we're halfway through 2025, and what I'm about to share with you today, live, blows all those other ideas and opportunities completely out of the water. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a $638 billion opportunity. Today, we are talking about AI smart tools. What are they? How do they work? How to build them for pennies on the dollar, set them up, and make money. This is a training you don't want to miss. So if you're excited, smash the like button. Let's hop over to the live set, and I'm going to show you exactly, step by step, start to finish, how to get an idea, build a simple AI-enabled smart tool, get traffic, and make money. That's right, nothing left out. I'm going to teach you everything right here, right now. Come on, let's go to work. All right, everyone, welcome to the show. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about AI-enabled tools. How are these different from regular tools? Well, what we're going to be doing is building tools that are based on the back of an API. What is an API? An API is a way for a computer to talk to another computer so it can get some results. So basically what you're going to have here is you're going to have your tool, which is going to be like a basic tool. We're going to go through, we're going to do something like a keyword generator, a domain name generator, whatever it is that basically people want. I'm going to show you how to find these. We're going to show you how to build them. Then our tool is going to talk on the back end to an API. This could be using something like ChatGPT. This could be using something like Gemini. You can use Claude has one. Lots of these AI tools have APIs. DeepSeek has one. We've been messing around with DeepSeeks as well. So what we're going to see is that these tools work really, really well. And now that we can make them AI enabled, it kind of changes the game. Now, I'm seeing that this is right now, as of present, a $638 billion market. Tons of stuff going on here. It's something that is time sensitive, so the faster you move on this, the better it's going to be. As Tim says, I've been making calculators and now N8N automations with front ends vibe coded. Exactly, that's what we're looking at here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it to a next level. We're going to take a simple tool that someone wants to get a result, maybe like a grammar checker or something like that. And we all know that Grammarly is kind of a big business, right? They got a lot of money. We also know that lots of people are doing this and making money. So if we can understand that now any tool that we make can be enabled with AI, that changes the game big time, because now instead of just having like a mortgage calculator, I can have a mortgage calculator that does research, goes and checks on Zillow and different things like that for prices of houses, and also asks them questions and gives them feedback. Much like a few tools that we were working on yesterday. One of them is a due date calculator, which you guys will see. These do get a lot of searches. So due date calculator, I think we have down here, pregnancy calculator, something like that. There it is. 14,000 searches a month, and globally right around 600,000. And we could see that the cost per click is actually pretty low. So you could even buy traffic to build these up. Now, the idea is, how do you turn it into something that's AI enabled? And what does that do? Well, first of all, having a regular tool sets you apart. So there's different graduations of being able to make money online, okay? So you have your run-of-the-mill people. This is when we say, like, the average person trying to make money online makes nothing. This is our average person here trying to make money, okay? There's graduating things. He could go out there and he could post affiliate links on social media, okay? That's probably the basic, lowest easiest way to go about it is like, okay, let's post some social media links. Now, does that work very good? No, not at all. You need to build a business. You need to build something. Now, the second tier would be, okay, well, maybe he's out there and he has a Facebook page, or maybe he has a YouTube channel or something like that where he actually has an audience and he's starting to build something. Or maybe he goes a step further and he gets a domain name and a blog, okay? This is all more or less content marketing. This is the lowest on the totem pole, the easiest. Everyone, kind of gravitates toward that because it's like, okay, anyone can do that. I want the easiest thing to do. That would be that. Now, when looking at Facebook and YouTube, now you're getting an audience. It's a little bit different. Then you have domains where you have somewhere to take them. Then you have different things like maybe a good affiliate promotion, or graduating higher would be like having a product. Okay, if you have your own product, that's definitely good. Or even having your own tool. Obviously, a guy writing about keyword tools and keyword research isn't going to make as much as the guy who owns Ahrefs. Very basic, right? It's like, okay, the guy who owns the tool kind of gets the lion's share of the market. Now, what we're doing here is we're talking about how to make tools in your market, in your niche, that will generate some money. That's the idea here. Now, when I go out here and I show you these examples of people that are making money, I show you that this is a $638 billion industry as of now, projected to go into the trillions in the up and coming years. What does that mean? Well, that means that is what is there. There is money here. That is a fact. You can't argue it. However, will you get that money? Well, the results are not typical, implied, or guaranteed. While there are some people making startups and getting millions of dollars very quickly, the vast majority of people trying to make money online make nothing. So the odds are most people make nothing. But if we understand this is a business, if we understand the difference between smart tools versus static tools, right? Like you could literally go out there. One of the things in business, a principle in business that's very popular, and you've probably heard it before, is build a better mousetrap. What does that mean? Well, if you could build a better mousetrap, that says mousetrap there, right? That means you're building a better product based on something that's already there, that's already selling. Like if you invent some new Frisbee that goes farther, obviously people will want to buy what you have rather than the old one. Or maybe a coffee cup that keeps warm or something like that. What you're doing is you're building something better. Now, when we get into building AI-enabled tools, what's the difference? You could build an AI static tool. That is something that is one and done. You basically make the tool. It does one thing. It calculates, it generates, it changes, it builds, whatever. But it's not tapping in to AI smart tool capability. So how do we get it to tie into smart tool? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to go through that, and we're going to show you how that works, how to tie a brain into your tool so that you can go out there and promote it, because obviously right now, I don't care what it is. If you have an AI tool, you're going to get some traction. You just go out there, slap AI on just about anything, and people are now magically more interested than they were before. Now, does that say just throw AI on anything? No. That's to say make it good, make it work. Now, when looking at this, a static tool would be an example of maybe like this one here, where you would have a basic due date calculator. This is the one that we did. For example, it took me like 30 minutes to make this one. It wasn't very difficult at all. And what I did is I went through and I said, I want a counter where they can put the due date or the pregnancy date, like the day they got pregnant or whatever. They can hit calculate and it'll calculate. Now, if you were to go out there and look at other tools in the market like this, they're very basic. It'll just have a date, maybe some fancy stuff. Now, what we're doing is we're making this a step bigger. We're going through and saying, okay, well, what if we have a tip based on how far along they are, right? There's certain things that happen. If you've ever known anyone that's been pregnant, you know, okay, well, in the first trimester, they're hungry and they need this and they need lots of rest or whatever it is. And what we're doing is we're putting that into the tool and telling the tool, hey, pay attention to the name, the date, and the baby's name so that we can build this. Now, I also had it go through and generate an AI image of what the sonogram might look like at this time, so they're being able to visualize stuff. All right, I didn't have it on this one because the image was kind of weird looking, so we're doing some work there. Also, you can even have a video. You can have AI create a little video of, what that would look like at 9 months or whatever it is. Now, in addition to this, we also have like a little tip. Obviously, when dealing with something like this, make sure you disclaimer it, make sure you give good advice, make sure, it's very fun and lighthearted. We don't want to give any information that we don't know about. So what it's doing is it's saying, hey, here's a little tip for you. Then I had it go a step further and say, well, what if we made a little message from the baby? Like, hey, here I am, I'm 3 months old, and I'm growing just fine, or whatever it is, right? Very, very cool, and it says, how big the baby is and all that stuff. And then it says, okay, for you, here's your progress report, different things like that are talking about all the different stuff, which is really cool. Then it says looking ahead and going in, and, you choose the genders here like that, boom, there you go. And then you can see how you're feeling. Now, one of the things that I did with this, I want you to take a look, because everywhere online there are different due date calculators and things like that. What we need something that sets us apart. So what I did is I used AI to do several things. One, it is personalizing. So instead of just, hey, your baby's going to be born on Tuesday, right? What we're doing is we're going through and personalizing it for them. Here's what's happening now. Here's how you're feeling. All of this. Okay? Also, message from baby or whatever. Okay? Something like that. Thinking about this is something that people are going to use often. It'll work really well, and it's based on something people are searching for. Now, the monetization we'll get to in just a minute and show you how it works, but we're looking at this and enabling it with AI, with personalization, message from, and also the ability to have a cookie, which is going through and it's keeping track of the person. So once this is up on my website and out of Gemini, it's actually going to track them. So if a new expectant mother comes here, looks at it, comes back in a month, it's going to know, hey, Jessica, welcome back. Your baby is now, 2 months old, or whatever it is. And now you're going to see a different sonogram, a different tip, hello from me, different hello from me, and looking ahead. Also, in addition to that, it is allowing it to track the feelings. So you go back and you're like, oh, during month 1, you felt great most of the time. Month 2, you were tired, and it's going to track all that. In addition, it'll also track different cravings and foods and things like that. Now, the cool thing about this is you could literally take them wherever you want to go and make it as big or as little as you want based on what the market would want. Very, very simple. So what we're seeing here is AI-enabled tools are game changers. When we go out there to promote this is something that people are going to want over the other tools that are out there. If you have a mortgage tool that, maybe you go out there and look at a mortgage tool that might calculate the refinance rate or something like that, or maybe how much you could sell your house for, what's going to happen is we're now going to have something that is going a step ahead. If you guys see the power of this, smash a like button and type powerful as a comment below so that we can understand what's going on. Now, when we look at vibe coding, I want you to understand, in my opinion, I believe this is the biggest AI gold rush right now. I don't think there's anything else that comes close to this. Being able to make a tool is probably the simplest, fastest way to get started. You don't need to have 100,000 articles. You don't need a big domain name. You don't need a big investment. Literally, you can do this bare bones, very small with any AI tool. We're going to show you how to build them on this call. Health says, do you need to be an expert on the subject to build a tool for it? You do not. However, certain niches might require seeking out expertise. Like I wouldn't want to make one teaching people how to do a bench press if I'm not an expert on bench presses, because I don't want people to get hurt. Go to something else. Make something easy. I mean, if you go out there and you look at like a grammar checker, how can we make this AI enabled? Right now, you have Grammarly and different things like that. But thinking about this, I want you to think about this for a minute. Up until now, very recently, we had the ability to make tools online, which is great, wonderful, fantastic. How popular are all of these AI tools? You look at ChatGPT, worth billions of dollars. You look at Perplexity, billions. You look at all these other companies that are worth lots of money. Now your tool can piggyback on them. This is super important. Hopefully you're getting the idea of how this works, because if you get this, you are now able to tap into these billion-dollar tools for a fraction of the cost. And when thinking about it, think about it this way as well. When you look at that, a person like me uses ChatGPT probably 100 billion times more than the average person out there. So for me, I could probably take average passive ChatGPT users, and I could get them in, and I can build a tool, and they don't even need a ChatGPT account because they're using the API within my tool. My tool is doing that specific thing for them. How many of you guys think that it would be valuable if I made you a tool, and I'm like, hey, this tool helps you make money in 5 different ways. Here's how it works. And you're like, wow, that's cool, because ChatGPT is cool. It's powerful. It's great. But I also don't know what to use it for. Like maybe you run a local gym or you're a dentist or whatever, and you don't know how to use it to get the outcome that's actually going to help you, and you're kind of lost, right? How many of you guys, you like AI, it's cool, you make articles, you make stuff, but overall, when it comes to like making a business out of it, you're a little bit lost. You're like, yeah, I really don't know what to do. I mean, I can make content, I can make videos, I can do a faceless channel, I can make a program or whatever, but all in all, I'm kind of lost, okay? That's where this comes in. The bigger AI gets, the more stuff that happens with AI, the more opportunity there's gonna be because more people are gonna get lost. Make sense? Our job, make it simple. Whether it's something simple like a grammar checker, whether it's something like a loan repayment calculator, different tools like calories burned, different removers and things like that, all kinds of things here where we're looking at that, we're like, okay, how can this work? So now what we're doing is we're building something of value. That's where this comes in. We're gonna build something small of value for a specific group of people, whether they're authors, whether they're whatever. We're gonna build that tool for them. Now, we saw recently the guy who made $80 million with his brand new startup, got acquired, made a bunch of money, okay? Vibe coding is huge. From the samples we run, the average, I think, let's see if we can open this in a new tab. I think the average was like $226,000 a month from the snippets we had. Now, these are the big success stories. Obviously, the average person trying to make money makes nothing. When we understand this and we see how it works, what we're gonna do, first and foremost, identify a need, leverage AI, build this very lean, okay? You're gonna have the pull, the draw to get fund happy, okay? We see this with venture capital, right? They invest in things and it might not be profitable and whatever. A bunch of people can afford to float a business along till it works. For you and me, we can't afford to do that. We need to build this lean. We need to make it simple. We need to get it in front of the right people. Identify the need, leverage the AI, build it lean, and scale efficiently. Now, when you look at things like Formula Bot that got to $226,000 a month recurring, Interior AI, $45,000, AI2, whatever this one is, some kind of SQL thing, which I think Alina would probably like. She does a lot with the SQL databases and stuff like that. And what he's doing is building a specific purpose. Notice how these fit a specific purpose. Here's one about interior design. Okay, how do you take ChatGPT and make it for people who want interior design? Now, again, remembering that we're in this world of making money online. Like when I go hang out with my family and I talk about AI, they don't know what I'm talking about. They're like, ChatGPT, I heard of it, but what does it even do? Right? Most people do not know. So our job is to package it, and you have the ability to package a very simple tool based on what's working, use AI in it, boom, now they're able to use AI in a simple way. Let me show you an example here of one that I created. Actually, there's several. So this is a content strategy generator. What I wanted to have is I wanted a tool that I could go through, put in a keyword list. Let me get one for you so I could show you exactly how it works. I specifically wanted it to be a upload straight from like Ahrefs or something like that, so I could take a report here and get a content strategy. And I want to show you how we think about these tools in a very specific way and how we use AI to make them even better. This tool has made me money. It actually makes me money every day. It took me in all sitting down to finally finished, and it's not done. I'm still going to work on it and build and grow it. That's the beauty of these. But this one took me probably 20 hours start to finish of actual working on it, testing it, and making it work. Now, this is one of the more complicated ones. I mean, it's tapping into Gemini, it's tapping into DeepSeek API, and all of that. Now, to show you what this looks like, let's say I was to go and get a keyword report from, like, one of my websites or something like that. Let's go over here. We'll just do, like, top pages or something like that. I'm just pulling this up in Ahrefs. So we'll do top pages. And this is the report we're getting, so just so you can see what it looks like. What I wanted to do is be able to export all the keywords, the links, and everything like that. Let's get a big snapshot, maybe like right here. And we'll export it right like this. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to just drag and drop this right in here and have it create this tool. Okay, so now, see, boom, right at a glance, it already makes this. Now, I want you to remember, all of this was 100% created with AI. I didn't know how to program at all. Okay, now, this, so far, we're in the static realm, right? Uploading, static. Results, boom, it just stripped them out of the thing. You could see it's stripping the title out of the URL, okay? Very specific. It's for a very specific reason, okay? If you have a specific reason, you're solving a problem. Business is about solving a problem. You could solve a simple problem for a lot of people or a complicated one for a few people. Or you can make little things like this that really help people get what they want, whether it's changing a Facebook or whatever. We just saw recently, I think he took it down, but Mr. Beast came out with an AI thumbnail tool that had a bunch of controversy because it was like, yeah, you should make your own thumbnails. You shouldn't be swapping thumbnails and copying people, but that's what the tool was about. Either way, he actually built it and got a lot of traction very fast because it was like, oh, now it's an AI-enabled tool. You can make an AI-enabled thumbnail tool. Now, when you think about this, you have to think about all the things AI can do, all AI does, are now available to you. So can I make images? Yeah. In my example, I disabled it here because, you know, some of the images were, I don't know what it was going to show, and it's kind of risky to show on stuff like this. But what I did is I made it to where it actually showed that sonogram demo image, right? So it actually went through and did that. So really cool stuff. You can tie into anything AI can do. If ChatGPT can do it, if Gemini can do it, if Perplexity, Claude, DeepSeek, if all of these can do it, you have access to it as long as they have an API. Understanding that is what's going to put you in the next level. Showing you an example. This is an example of the regular keyword file, right? So this is what this looks like without AI. You would go here, you would get your file. I think it drag and drops, extract, boom, there you go. So this would be an example of non-AI based, right? This part, I think I did have a little bit of AI because I was messing with it. But showing you the difference, like it would stop here. It would just extract the titles. That would be the end of it. Now, looking at this tool, which a lot of you guys might have actually used. I did send this out. We are going to put it in AI Profit Scoop along with some other tools, which, by the way, if you're not in there, like we got a lot of tools. I think we're going to raise the price soon because it just makes sense. But at any rate, what it does is goes through here, and I can get a strategy straight from AI for each keyword. So it'll go through and it'll say, here's your strategy. Okay, I have this here because this is selling my program there. But now we could see content strategy. Here's who they are. Here's the intent. Here's keyword suggestions, related article titles. That's all straight from AI. And people are like, oh my God, this is really cool. It works in a very, very specific way. Not only can you get strategies and affiliate offers for each one, right? This will show you some affiliate offers. Domain brokerage services, domain investing courses, website hosting development, things like that. Now, looking at these, now I can download the report. I can paste them in here if I don't have a file. Then we're going through at the bottom, and it actually creates all of the stuff here. And you guys probably saw this in Friday's video. So now I could put in my main niche, let's say affiliate marketing. It's going to generate categories, right, like this. And then we go through, click the categories we want, and we can actually generate an entire content marketing plan with AI, right? So now we're in the part where AI is actually taking over. It's like, okay, I want 100 blog post ideas that are not the same as this, that work in a very, very specific way, okay? Now, going through and looking at this, how many of you guys are like, dude, I would use that tool. That is a killer content marketing tool. That's something I would probably pay for. A lot of people said they would, and a lot of people are joining because that's where we're going to put it. Now, not only that, but you can also do Pinterest pins, clickbait title ideas, AI content overview, and generate an entire keyword wheel based on your market specifically. So see how this tool is specific for people who would want it. Now, what's happening is I'm now able to go out there and utilize something. Let's say we go Keyword Explorer and we do Keyword Tool. Now I can market this as an AI-enabled keyword content tool kind of thing. Okay, how many of you guys are like, oh, this is game-changing? Like, that I can promote. Because a lot of people are stuck and they're like, okay, well, I can go, make blog posts about how to lose weight or whatever, but that's not going to get traction and it doesn't set me apart. Most of you guys are struggling, especially right now, because in the age of AI, content is so easy to make, everyone can make it. So what we need to do is we need to do something different. So we're going to identify the need. Whatever your market needs, can we put that into an AI formula, right? So like this niche I did for gas prices. Could we make a gas price finder with AI and then have it also teach them ways to save money on gas or something like that? Thinking different is what's going to help. We saw this guy here with Base 44. He sold his business for $80 million. I think it was less than a year old. AI tool. It was a AI app builder. Also, here's another guy sold his, or he's making like $1 million he sold it for, something like that. Another one here, he got up to 2.7 million a year in just about 8 months or something. I mean, crazy, crazy results. And what we're seeing is, okay, having that AI-enabled thing works. Now, where's the barrier of entry? What's going to happen? Okay, can I make the next bolt.new? No, I can't. I don't know how to do that. That's above my pay grade. It's going to cost a lot of money. And we're like, okay, yeah, it's not going to happen. This is what most people do. They're looking at Amazon and they're like, oh, I need a store with 100 million items. Okay, good luck. Even if it's only a penny per item to put them up, you're still going to be in the hole. Like, that's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to cost a lot of time. Most people are not going to do it. So what I need to do is I need to find something small, easy, that helps, right? Like, how can I help a very specific amount of people with something very specific and AI enabled? And having that AI enabled, I mean, that's like the booster of that's like taking an idea and putting a rocket ship on it. Because everybody loves AI, I can do a press release about it, boom, it'll pop up. Thinking about these in a specific way is super important. Going out there and looking at, okay, what AI prompts do people want? And I'm going to pull it up over here because some prompts aren't exactly the best thing, right? Some people type some interesting stuff. Let's do AI prompt. So we have AI prompt generator, AI prompt engineer, all kinds of things about AI prompts. And you can actually go through and find sites that have prompts, and here's the deal. You can put that into a tool, right? Instead of having a prompt, how many people would rather have a tool that has it in it? Like here, looking at this, it is more or less, I mean, if you had enough prompts, you could get the same result that this tool gives you. How many of you guys would rather have 100 different prompts, have to pay for your own AI tool, $20, $30, $40 a month, and have to follow something specific? How many of you guys would rather be like, no, I think I'd rather use this tool for cheap or maybe even free? That's the magic here. If you get it, type AHA in the box below, or chat box or whatever. This is basically a $1 billion AI opportunity. Some people will use this and they will go do it. I had a guy like a year ago, I think it was, we did that video on the GPT store. He made a GPT, which the GPT store is basically a custom GPT you can make for anything. Let's do GPT store. I'll try to find it and get you a keyword report on it, because I think that would be helpful. Let's see. GPT store. Is it this one? This might be a different one. Okay, well, this will give us an idea, hopefully, if it ranks for stuff. And it'll show you, like, these are the prompts, these are the things people want in the store. If I can make them outside of the platform, like, okay, now I'm owning this. Now I have something that's going to work, right? Now I have something where people are now going to come to me. Like, here's one where some kind of receipt generator, square root curve calculator, font extractor from image. That's a pretty good one, right? That's actually a very popular one. And believe it or not, fonts do sell. Like, it's weird. I remember I had a font site years ago, and one day I woke up and I checked my affiliate account, and one guy bought like $600 worth of fonts, which was ridiculous. I was like, who buys $600 worth of fonts? I thought fonts were free. But at any rate, when you look at like font extractor or font finder, I think font finder or something like that, even if you just do font, it'll show you all the different things here, what font finder, different things like that are key. And now when we start to think about this, this is where the game changes. Because now we're able to go out there and say, okay, now I can create a tool based on this. There is 1 million people a month searching for it. I can promote different font tools, and mine's now AI, right? Does that make sense? That's the key, because now I can go through and I can start a new Gemini. My favorite tool to make these in is Gemini. I like it. I think it's easy. It works with the API and everything. But I can go through, click on Canvas down here, and say something like, let's make a font detector tool using the Gemini API, where the user can upload an image and it will detect the font, okay? And maybe they can even find the download for it or something like that. Obviously, you want to make sure that you follow all the rules. I would want to make sure that this isn't copying anything. The more specific you are, the less chance you have of copying something. Like this one here that I made, the content strategy generator, that's based on my specific parameters. I don't think there's any tool that's like that, so I'm not too worried about it. A font one, that's pretty basic, that's pretty easy. Yeah, you might run into some issues, but make it your own. What can I do? Maybe I could go through and say, now let's have it where they could type their word in and get the name. I made a fortune with a glitter font generator back in the day. Thing made, I think, off the glitter one, I'm gonna say if I had to estimate, probably close to 600 grand off that one alone, which was pretty cool. And it was just a simple thing with the giveaway, pretty easy. Now, again, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. Most people watching this will not make 600 grand, $6, or even 6 cents. Most people make nothing. We need to understand this is a business. We need to look at it real. We need to look at need. We need to look at value. We need to build something like we mean it. A lot of people come to me and they're like, what's the fastest way to 10K a month? And, you know, they really don't want to do the work. With AI, I think the work is kind of, you know, done for you. Like AI is doing a lot of this for me. I don't have to hire a programmer. I don't have to learn programming. It's done. So I can say, let's make a font generator detector tool, and it'll detect the font and let them type stuff in the font. And it will go through and it'll start thinking and make this for you. Now, thinking about this, if you had an AI-enabled font detector, if I was to go out there and say font detector, all right? The first result, let's use what font. So this is a specific site. They literally charge for it, right? So drag and drop your image. They charge for it. They have some ads on it as well. But let's take a look at what they rank for, because I think that'll give us an idea into the market. And thinking about this, okay, now I can build these where before I couldn't. So their traffic value back in the day was 29,000, or right now it's 29,000. Back in the day it was 40,000. And we could see all different kinds of font traffic here. Really cool, really good. And there's lots of competitors and things like that. So it is really neat, right? It works. Now, let me type in AI font detector, see if anything comes up for that. I want to see if anyone has that, AI font detector. And I'm just Googling this. I'm not, okay, so what font does have the AI finder? Looks like the main one that does, so, I mean, we can make something like that and promote it. Now, of course, we would have to do the work of getting people to it and things like that. We'll talk about that towards the end. But now we could see this will actually find the font. So if we go through, get an image, let's see if it works here. Where's an image? Save image as, save the image, and let's see if it'll take it. Boom. Okay, there we go. Detect font. So look how easy this is. It literally makes this in seconds, and it'll tell me the fonts of them, which is pretty cool. And now when we use the API, it will be using an image thing, so it will cost money when people use it. So there's two options you can do. You can use your API, or you can have them type theirs in. Okay, so now we're seeing the detected font is Montserrat, whatever that is. Hi there, type. Something like that, right? So it is actually working. Now, as we go through, we can make this even better, and we can tie into affiliate offers and stuff like that. Again, like I said, I did make money in the font market. Full disclosure, there was a download I got paid for that I don't think it's available anymore. That was the bulk of the income, but I did actually make money on the font. I think it was a commission junction offer for a font. You'd like buy the rights to a font or something like that. And it was pretty cool. So this is the kind of thing you can use. Now back then I didn't have a tool. I just had a font site that, you know, showed different fonts and things like that. That's why I didn't get a lot of free traffic. I had to pay for traffic. If I was doing free traffic, I probably would have been pretty profitable just having the affiliate offer. Now, how many of you guys are seeing, oh, hey, having this AI-enabled tool would be really cool? Let's make an AI API tool on this that makes their own font from their handwriting. That'd be kind of cool, right? Make your own font from your handwriting. That's something that could work really, really well. And it does. Looking at that and understanding it is key. Laverne says, I watched your first video about API integration last week, and I have now finished my first one answering a specific question. 10K monthly search. Verified, apparently it's first of its kind. Congrats. Like this stuff, it works if you do it. I think the problem is people are just expecting, I'm going to make a tool and get rich tomorrow without doing anything other than making the tool. There's a lot of videos here on YouTube. I cloned a tool. I built a website making this. And they're talking about things that can work, but like obviously building a home page that looks like Google and searches like Google is not building Google. Like Google took a long time to build that business. It's a huge thing. But can I do something specific? Can I make a search engine, maybe AI enabled, for a specific group of people? Maybe programmers, right? Maybe you can go through and do a search engine for programmers. So now we're seeing this will turn your handwriting into a font. That's kind of cool. That's something that can work. And William says, I made my own plugin and it works. Finished it up last night, called Custom Potting Mix Recipe Designer. All right, cool. And looking at this, this is where the specifics are going to work, right? If we can make something specific, if we can look at like this, a grammar checker. Let's go through and say, let's start a new one. And let's say, Canvas, I want to make a grammar checker using the Gemini API that will check for grammar, keep the same word count, and change the grammar to casual, professional, ECT, and also check plagiarism. I mean, if you can make a Grammarly type thing, because Grammarly is for everything from people handing in papers at school to people writing content, right? So what if I had something specific for, hey, here's for blog posts, right? And that's where we're going to get into the nitty gritty. There's actually, I have a tools class coming up where we're going to show how to make API AI enabled tools, and we're going to build them together. And I'm going to show you a website that I bought for $50. I'm going to show you how we're building it up for specific SEO tools. Game changer. So now we're going through, and we'll do this here. It should know the logic, like it'll come up with the logic for us. And then going through to use these to make money online is a big, big game changer. This, I believe, is like the simplest thing ever, because now the product is building itself, which is cool. Like here's one for car payment calculator. Okay, how can I make this in a specific way based on what people want? Now, Dontres says, I made a karaoke performance tool with Perplexity Labs. I had to make it give me more control over logic. That's cool. I would also look at like, where is the money going to come in? If I'm making a font one, that's a little bit harder to get money than if I'm doing a car payment one. If I do a car payment one and I talk about different options and things like that, now I can build. Like, watch this. Let me show you an example. One of the ones back in the day was rent versus own. Okay, rent versus own. You have 600 people a month looking this up, or let's do rent, own. Let's see what comes up for here. Rent to own homes, rent to own. So a lot of rent to own. We have rent versus own, things like that. So if I was to go through and look at like rent versus own calculator, okay, that's going to be pretty basic. Watch how this works. So we'll go through, and while we're waiting, let's do new. Let's see, we'll open a new Gemini. Or actually, we could do it in Perplexity, see what Perplexity does, or Claude or whatever. That'll show you a good snapshot of all of them. So if we go through and we do something, let's say we go to Claude, and we do, let's make a rent to own calculator. Okay, these are people who want to buy a house and can't afford a down payment, apparently, something like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make something that would help them and help them understand better ways to do it. Like, is it better to actually save up and do the down payment? Is it better to do this, that, or the other? And that's going to tie into mortgages, rent to own, stuff like that. Now, Claude defaulted to React. We're going to say make this non-React so I can put it on my cPanel website. And we'll do that after. It'll give us a nice little demo. So now we have AI grammar and style checker. So if I was to go through and we have, let's just get a blog post. Let's say we have this blog post, right? So now we go through here. We would do your text, check style. Okay, and we could have it check grammar too. Rewritten in a casual tone. Okay, here's the edited casual rewrite. Grammar and spelling correction, so it does have that. No grammar mistakes. That's because I wrote it in AI. If I wrote it myself, it'd probably be like, we don't understand this. Rewritten text, here's a casual version. So, build your audience early. Fix a problem you actually have? No. That's cool. Right, so that's, it's going through, build your crowd early. Be quick, adapt. So it is actually changing it. Now, it would work on a big one as well if we had a bigger one. Let's try plagiarism. I don't know where it's getting its plagiarism score. That would be an interesting thing to ask it. But going through and making little tools like this is big time key. I'm an old school coder, never heard of React. React is what they made Facebook in. So looking at this, right, here's our React rent-to-own calculator, okay? How can we use the React version, and will the functionality be affected? I don't know how to use React. I'm not an expert in that. I believe you just need a script on your cPanel. I find that we really don't need that unless you're building like a gigantic Facebook-esque type program. Probably not going to need it. So for this here, I can say make it React or whatever. But looking at the difference here, item cash price, 50,000, weekly payment, 100, contract length, $36, upfront fee, $500. Okay, so now looking at this, it'll show you the difference between rent versus buy. Okay, financial advice. Now we can go through and say, now let's have this use the Claude AI API and give smart answers and tips. And it'll actually go through and do that. Like maybe, oh, hey, if you're in Orlando, it's better to buy because of this rule or that rule or whatever, right? Starting to understand how that works is key. And now thinking about, like, okay, AI could predict things based on the current housing price trajectory. Will this be a good idea? I mean, how many of you guys are starting to see, wow, this is a game changer? This is giving you content because everyone thinks, oh, it's about content. Some guy on the internet years ago said content is king. Okay, yes and no. Maybe, maybe not. Why do most of the big places not own the content? Right? Like YouTube makes a fortune. They're not really making much content. We make the content. So maybe being the king is running the show here. So looking at this, can I run the show? Can I get people in based on something simple with AI in it? Like right now, rent-to-own calculator AI, probably not that popular, right? Why? Because it doesn't exist. If we go out there and we do a press release about that, boom, now people are going to go and use the tool. And there's no risk to using a free tool. I mean, we see people, they're like, oh, hey, here's this new free, social media platform. Everyone goes and signs up forgetting, yeah, there's agreements you have to read and stuff. But they sign up because it's like, oh, yay, a free tool. Free tools make money. Facebook is a free tool. It's a free social media platform. TikTok, free tool. Getting those users there, getting them to use it often, like we showed in the pregnancy example or the grammar example, or thinking about what people actually want. Here's one we did yesterday. We were talking about AI dog food selector. You could go through, put your dog's name, buddy, age, 2, what's the breed, let's say Labrador. And the cool thing about AI is it'll understand if they put lab, it would understand that. Weight, I don't know, 75. Go through what's a little bit overweight, low energy, can't have chicken. Boom. It's going to go through. The AI is actually thinking about this. So this is something people will use. That's why I said it's time sensitive. If you are able to be first to market and build something good, simple, you'll get people using this stuff all the time, and people are always looking for, best dog food or something. Now, going through here, you can also program the tool to give a special tip. This was giving it a ClickBank link. Really cool. And then we had little recommendations. Also, it allowed in the code for us to put our affiliate links. It's actually very simple. It just said, I think here, right here's where you put your affiliate links. Edit affiliate links here. Pretty simple. Understanding this is where you're like, oh, now I see making these tools is a game changer. Now it should be going in. Let's see what it added. Smart recommendations. Okay, so there's our AI financial advisor. Personal advice, high cost alert. You'll pay 50% more than the cash price. Consider this. I mean, when you look at rent-to-own calculator versus this, let's pull one up and I'll show you what the difference is here. We're getting smart results. This is where smart AI tools are going to be the big, big game changer here. So here is one. This one's pretty complicated. Yeah, this, like looking at the difference here, this is like a weird Excel file one. I mean, they get a bunch of traffic, but there's not much, like I probably wouldn't use this because one, I can't even see it. And ours would wipe the floor with that one, because now we're going through and making it work. Someone says, the only problem with this is once more people learn how to do it, this kind of stuff will be impossible to make any money. Am I wrong? Well, it's going to have to do with creativity, and my answer to you would be forget about what people are going to do and figure out what you're going to do now. Like, will AI eventually be on cPanel and run your entire website? Yeah. Until that happens, I'm going to make money while the sun shines, or make hay while the sun shines, or whatever it is. Because what we're doing is we're looking at that. That would be like someone going back years ago and being like, I'm not going to make the best carriage in the world because eventually someone will probably invent a car. Okay, well, I'm going to go make money the way I want. Much like when people say, you know, the death of content. Right now, we are in a content crux. There's so much AI content. Yes, for the new person, if you go in and you try to make a content business, it is harder and easier at the same time. It's harder because, yeah, everyone makes their own content with AI. It's everywhere. It's spread thin. However, for people that are willing to go the extra mile and do the work, boom, that's where the magic happens. Now, is everyone going to do this? Are people going to do AI-powered rent-to-own calculator? Probably not. Like, I don't see any right now. Are they going to do an AI-powered grammar checker, dog food thing? Are they going to do this? No. That's your time to get in here, build that audience. What this is going to do is it's going to get you in where you can build an audience and grow. And the question is, do you want to do it, or are you going to say, oh, well, you know, when eventually, you know, like the people who sign up and go drive Uber, well, eventually Uber's going to have robo-taxis and those people won't have jobs. But are they doing it now and making money now? Yes, they are. So understanding that is key. We need to understand and not look at what could, would, should, and look at what is now and where's the trajectory going. Because here's the deal. If I build this now and I get an audience now, I own that audience. I can build and grow as more people come in. Like this, because I know the market, I'm able to make tools like this that are super useful, right? And all it is a matter of getting in front of people. Make a good tool, get in front of them, boom, you're ready to go. Sell your stuff. Looking at this and understanding, okay, I could literally make anything I want. I can go out there, I could do SEO tool. What kind of SEO tools do people want? Guess what's not there right now? There's not really an AI SEO tool. What if I can make one? Let's see if we can make one. Maybe I can go in and say, Gemini, new, let's do Canvas or something like that. Let's make an AI tool tapping into the Gemini and ChatGPT APIs and Perplexity to see what they rank when a question is asked, i.e., how to tie a tie shows these 5 reference sites. So what we're doing is we're building a tool that people that are wanting to do AI SEO would want, because it's like, okay, yeah, instead of going and searching for all this stuff in ChatGPT, which is going to take 1,000,000 years, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one where it's like how to tie a tie. Boom, you got tie warehouse, you got tie man, whatever, all these things, and it's going to show you. So much like Ahrefs, but for the world of AI. And starting to look at this, okay, I can build this application that allows you to compare the source recommendation from different AI models. How many of you guys are like, damn, that would work, right? This is the stuff that'll work. This is stuff that I do all day, every day. This is the stuff we are going to go through in detail in my tools class. Because once you understand that this separates you from the vast majority of people, like I said, you can make content. That's like the lowest. Everyone can do that. Making tools, people don't think about this stuff. I mean, you got to look at it and say, okay, well, what am I going to do? Check this out. So now we have ChatGPT Perplexity. So I would just have to give it the ChatGPT and Perplexity API, and I can say how to tie a tie. Now, just imagine for a minute, because I don't want to show API keys here. It's not a good idea. In the class, we're going to show how to hide your API key. Now we can go through and do compare. So if it was working, it would show all of these. Different ways, WikiHow. This. Okay, so now for me, I want the URL. Now let's list the URL as well. Okay? And let's test it. Let's go to Gemini. How to tie a tie. Let's see if it actually is pulling those ones there. Okay, this is a custom gem. We need to go into new. There we go. How to tie a tie. So if I go in here and look at this, data for SEO, okay, that's cool. I've never used that one, but it looks pretty cool. So mastering the knot, blah, 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 blah. Let's see if it gives us sources. Please list sources, URLs. How many of you guys would be like, oh my gosh, that would be pretty helpful? YouTube, so different ones here. So now it should show how to tie a tie. It should show the sources. And it even came up with, there we go, nice. So WikiHow, Art of Man, yep, so there we go. How many of you guys are like, oh, that's cool. Now I can reverse engineer it. Now let's have an analyzer that shows why those would pop up well in the AI results. What is making the AI choose those, and how can I outrank them? How many of you guys are like, oh, this is a tool that's in demand literally right now. I'll put this up on the site. People will look at it because everyone right now is like, okay, how do I get listed in AI results? Called AI-EO or something. Sounds like that old McDonald's song, right? On this farm he had an SEO or something. So now we're looking at this and we have an analyze button. Don says, when I use ChatGPT for coding, it holds my hand more, but Mini codes faster. So right now, I'm probably going to come out with a video next week. I think if I had $20 a month to spend on AI tools, I think I'm going to go Gemini. Why? It has different options than others, and for the coding, I'm finding it way, way better. Right? Looking at that is like, okay, now we're seeing all kinds of different things here. So now we'll do how to tie a tie, compare. Okay, and obviously with the different APIs, it would tap into all of them. Think about that for a minute. Like you can make a side-by-side AI tool. There's people out there that have side-by-side user tools where you pay them and you're using their APIs to generate stuff in all the different AIs. I mean, that works. And from what I've seen, all the people, I announced this tool over here, which has a lot of calls. It's calling the API several different times, and they're big prompts. And so far, I've spent a whopping 33 cents, maybe 35, haven't checked it today, but 35 cents on API. So it's not expensive to run at all. And understanding this, now I can go through and I can make this work. So let's see what, so now we have analyze. Okay, so here's the SEO analysis. And I'll bet if we look at like rank on ChatGPT, how to rank on ChatGPT, ChatGPT SEO, AI SEO, AI SEO, SEO, AI tools, how to use AI for SEO. So there is a lot here that you can do. You can make an AI tool for that, like how would it rank in all of these or whatever it is. Let's take a look at this. So it says analysis based on the URL. Here's why an AI model likely ranks this page. Exact query match, interesting. Direct user intent fulfillment. Comprehensive coverage, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. Now watch this. Now, let's have a checkbox on each. Then it pops up the key parts of each article, makes them into a prompt, and writes my own article with the SEO stuff included. Now we're getting somewhere. Now I'm like, hey, check this out. I can go through and make this work. Dominic says, sorry to say, but ChatGPT has been the equivalent of herding cats. I have noticed a decline in ChatGPT, probably because ChatGPT 5 is coming out, and I know that they put all their energy in 5, where 4 is probably just kind of sitting over there in the corner. That's probably why. Sad to say, I hardly use ChatGPT anymore. I'm actually thinking about converting my entire content business. I have a content business where we write content for people. I'm thinking about converting it to Gemini. The only reason I don't is because obviously if you write with AI in Google, Google will know emphatically that it's AI. So I'm not sure I want to test that yet. But let's see how this works, because now, see how we're building on it and we're thinking different? Like, what would this look like? How do we build it and grow? How to tie a tie, compare. Okay, so now it would compare all 3 of them. All right, let's check the ones we want. Write article with 3 sources. Boom. Writing your SEO optimized article. Let's open Grammarly, because I just for fun, I want to see if it actually flags this thing. Because if it doesn't, then yay, I just made a content tool literally while we're live here. So we'll do new document. Let's drag this over here. Okay, so here's our how to tie a tie, simple non, blah, 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 blah. Nice article. I mean, it's probably like 1,000 words-ish. 1,300. Not bad. Took 2 seconds to make. Check our plagiarism here. Might be high. I'm not sure. I haven't really tested Grammarly, but let's see what happens here. And with this, you could even make like a bulk article tool. I mean, this can be a game-changing type of thing. And you could do this for anything. Like, what if you programmed it? So 6%, that's actually really low, and the AI is 26%. I'm very happy with the output here, and it would probably show up well with AI if we ranked it right. I'm finding it increasingly difficult to keep up with which AI tool to assist me in writing my articles. It's becoming exhausting. Any advice? Yes, Joseph, use mine. Right, because what we're doing, here's the deal. What you're doing is you are making tools. So how many of you guys, if you were like, if I came out with a content writing tool, the same one that I give my paid outsourcers to make content, right? If I gave you that flow as a tool, how many of you guys would be like, I would buy that now? Type, I would buy that tool as a comment if you would buy that, right? Let's say I charged $7 a month for it, or let's say I put it in AI Profit Scoop for $17, right? How many guys would be like, well, I'd join AI Profit Scoop just for that, because I can make all the articles I want based on a specific strategy. Here's the problem. People want prompts, but they don't know how to get the prompt to do what they want, right? Just yesterday, I was trying to get a specific style of video out of Veo and Sora, and it did not work. It didn't work at all. It failed. And I was like, okay, I need a prompt rewriter. So I made a prompt rewriter, and it worked. And a lot of people are saying, yes, I would absolutely buy that tool. So what we do is we walk through the process. So what you're going to do is you're going to find a process to the outcome you want, right? For me, when I write an article, I always look at the intent first. Boom, let's look at the intent. Then I go through and I come up with a title. Then I go through and I come up with the chapters or the headlines, right? So I'm looking at this in a strategic way based on what I want. Jim just joined AI Profit Scoop today. If you guys aren't in a AI Profit Scoop and you like my stuff, we are going to be raising the price on it on new people. But if you're an old people, you get that price forever, which is cool. We're adding a lot of tools and things in there that are making it ridiculously silly, because you could literally join that and not have an AI tool because we have the tools for you. Would I do that? No, I'm always going to have my tool, but it would help. So now we have this generated article. Now I can say, now allow them to choose a title and structure style. Clickbait, informative, ECT. And it'll go through and it'll do all this stuff here, which is really cool. Laverne says, just thinking maybe using Google Maps AI could be amazing for location data. It could be. I probably wouldn't get into that until I really, really researched it, because there's a lot of gray areas you can have. What I would say do is start something simple. Like, don't make it too complicated. We want something simple we can take to market, and then after you make money with that, then explore the other ideas. But starting to understand, okay, now I can create pretty much whatever I want as long as I think about it the right way. Looking at the different tools we created, like this little content one here, we have the big content one here, we have this PowerPoint image converter, which was really cool, and all kinds of different ones that are there. And now we can see, okay, what else could I make? Let's say SEO competitor tool, or maybe you go for like calculator. And we say, okay, what kind of calculator? Maybe BMI calculator. Okay, cool. Or how much house can I afford? There we go. That's a good one. So let's do this. If I have how much house could I afford calculator, which is probably very popular right now. If I was to go through and utilize AI, a press release, make videos on this, show how to use it, yeah, I could get a lot of this traffic here, okay? So if I was to go through and say, Gemini, new, Canvas, let's make a how much house can I afford calculator that ties into the API of Gemini. And obviously, you're going to use your API, though that's in your account. You just go look at it. Like if you were going to find it in Claude, you just click on it, and you'll have API, and then it'll show what you have there. Okay? Really cool stuff, really simple. And this is for my subscription. That's something else there. So now looking at, that's not API usage. So now going through and looking at, okay, how can we make this work really good? API of Gemini, and give custom advice, tips, and creative finance ideas, ECT. Let's see what happens here. Dom says, I would do that in a heartbeat. I've seen the evolution of your writing prompts from your paid writing services to that content you just made, and that tool is sick. Yes, we are going to put my content creation prompt tool in AI Profit Scoop. It's a really good tool. I think you'll like it. Worked hard on it. But now we can see, okay, building this out, now we can make this tool. Now, you can charge for this tool. Like a lot of us have seen background remover tools. There's one on the market that makes like, I think, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it was like $8 million a year. Simple tool AI can do. I mean, you could literally make that right now. I made one with AI. Now, of course, getting the visitors to it and getting them to pay is a different story than just making a tool. Obviously, like you're not just going to make a background tool or calculator and boom, get rich just because you made it. You have to go out there and promote it and build it. And now we'll look at this here and see what happens. And then when we're done, we just upload it to our server. If you did not see last week's video, watch it. If you did see it, watch it again. That one was about making these tools as well. Very, very big deal being able to use AI, because now you have everything at, it's almost like, I'll never forget it. One time I was talking to a family friend, or I think it was a family member, an uncle, and older guy. This dude like bought a house in San Francisco on a hostess salary. He was like a hostess of a fancy restaurant. Wasn't super fancy. It was just like middle of the road. And I was wondering, I'm like, okay, well, how did you buy a house in San Francisco? Well, obviously back then it didn't cost that much. But he talked about how it was like, okay, I'm literally making I'm making more than the owner of the restaurant, because the restaurant owner gets 10%. He's getting 20% on the tables because he gets tips. And I was like, wow, that's an interesting way to look at it. Obviously, he's not making more than the guy who owns a restaurant because he gets it on all of it. But for the tables he does, he's making more for the stuff he serves. I was like, wow, That's an interesting way to look at it. And I know with all the tip craziness that's going on in the US right now, where apparently you're supposed to tip $9 million every time you get a coffee. That was a joke, calm down, but if you empathize with that, let me know. But what he did is he said, okay, I'm getting that 20%. Here's the deal. You now can have your own miniature AI business. You can make money on the backs of the billions of dollars that they spent to make these tools. You don't have to spend it. You tap into the API, boom, there you go. And back in the olden days where, like, if you wanted to tap into the Ahrefs API and make a tool, it's like $1,000 a month. And that's before you even get your first customer. ChatGPT, Gemini, it's pay as you go, and so far, let me look it up on a different screen so that, you know, we can get you an accurate readout here. I will look it up. I'm going to do it on a different screen because obviously don't want to show any sensitive info there. But we'll go through, let's do Gemini API billing, something like that. I should be able to pull it up here. Of course, it wants to be slow, which is good. We got T. Okay, here we go. So far, having that tool, deliberately sending it to everyone, deliberately having them all use it, and I got a decent amount of people who have been using it. I have paid a whopping, ready, drum roll please, 39 cents. Literally 39 cents. So, and again, you can stop it. Like if I went in and I was like, wow, this is getting out of hand, I could say I only want to spend $5 a day. I could say send an alert or pause it at this amount, or I could just delete that key and it won't be used again. Looking at that is key. So now going through, seeing our content generator, so how to tie a tie, should have those little options on there. Okay, so let's see. So I clicked it. We don't want that. We want to click this, write article, informative, clickbait, standard, how to, okay, generate article. How many of you guys are like, dude, this is pretty cool? Matt says you can also swap to a different API if you wanted to. Exactly. So what we're doing and what I'm going to be teaching in the course, we're going to have a simple tools course. If you want to learn about that, go to aiprofitscoop.com. And right on the top, here's the link for it. It's a little bit pricier of a course. It's not like a $20 course, obviously, because we're going through some very rigorous stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to have, everyone's going to walk away with a tool. What we're doing there is we're going to show you how to put an API proxy so that it's kind of like, it has to have 3 different things so people can't find the proxy or the API or whatever. We'll show that. We're going to show how to host them, how to upload them, how to make them pretty, monetization, traffic methods, the whole 9 yards. Last time I taught the tools class, we had my buddy Kim, and I taught her how to do it. She did really well with it. Obviously, results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. Most people who take courses make nothing. But if we understand, oh, I see where I could go with this, right? How many of you guys are already like getting the aha moment of, oh, I see how I could build this, right? There you go. So now going through and looking at this, stop struggling, tie any tie like a pro, your ultimate dead simple guide. Tying a tie for many, it's a mysterious thing, and it goes through and has all of this. Pretty cool. Maybe we could even have it remove like the little stars or whatever, right? See how building and going through is where you're going to make this really work. A lot of people are like, I just want to create a tool in 5 seconds and have it work. No. We need to add to it. Matt says tools class number 1 was my favorite class as of late. Tools 2 with APIs is going to be awesome. Yeah, for many, software as a service is going to be a game changer. So now we're going through here. Jim says it's knowing what tool to make that stumps me. Well, what I'll do is I'll download this list here of a bunch of tools, wherever it's at. I think I had it in my ChatGPT. Let's see, we'll go Keyword Explorer. I think, where did I have that big list? This one. So I had this big list. I will give this list to you guys at aiprofitscoop.com. So go there. You can see info on the tools thing. If you don't want to join, you get your free list. You have a nice day. Really cool. But this is a list of over 100 different tools you can use. And what you want to do is you want to think about something different. Think about, okay, how can I make this work? A word counter tool. Okay, what would that look like? Why would someone want a word counter, right? And you can even start with this. This is the beauty of AI. I can go in here and say, why would someone want a word counter tool? Like if I start like this, who and why would someone want a word counter tool? We start here, and we're like, okay, well, what would they want? Are they counting words in their name? Are they counting words on a document? Are they doing SEO? What are they doing? What is it they're trying to do? So writers and authors, content marketers, journalists. Okay, cool. Based on all this, let's make a tool for my website that has a word counter, either drag and drop TXT, doc, PDF, ECT, or paste in box, get word count, sentence count, and use the AI API to have other tools based on their needs, like an AI translator, legalese understander, ECT. Watch this. So now it'll go through and it'll build it. Okay? Dividend says, this is hard, start by selling businesses' websites. I mean, you could do that. I did that back in the beginning. I would say to those who think this is hard, try it. We actually had an AI challenge, and I was shocked. I thought people were going to get stuck. Everyone in the challenge built a tool. They were like, hey, this is pretty cool, works well. Now I have a tool. I think they found it a lot easier than they thought it would be, and I think you'll find the same. Because it's literally a matter of uploading and things like that. I mean, even Alina here, who didn't have programming experience, she's now doing like MySQL stuff. She's building tools. She's uploading things. She has learned so much just by getting in there and doing it. When you're an entrepreneur, this is where like that big, this is why entrepreneurs dog on college, which is not good. Like I'm glad my doctor went to college because I don't want some guy self-taught, right? I like that my doctor went and read books that are bigger than me. I like that. But at any rate, a lot of entrepreneurs dog on college because when you go to college and you learn something, let's say you're going to learn programming, okay? A lot of programmers. I actually know someone right now who went through programming school, and he's like, I need to switch my major because it's over. AI's taken over it. With programming major, you're going to learn all these different things that are good to learn, but they're not for fast profit. When you learn the self-taught way and the way that we're going to teach you, you're going through and you're learning as you build to get what you need to make the money. Very, very important. So it cuts down the time, it cuts down the effort. So now, looking at this, AI-powered text toolkit, paste your text, or drag and drop, we would go through, let's say we pasted our text from, I don't know, whatever. Oh, here we go. We'll just paste the text we got here. See what happens. Boom. 1,600 words, 120 sentences, characters, reading time. That's pretty cool. Now we can go through and do summarize. Cool. Translate to Spanish. And then we'll do simplify legalese or whatever. And you'll start to see like, okay, these can enhance it. And when you look at like word counter, a lot of people look that up. Thinking about why someone would want it, like this tool here for how much house can I afford? If they go through, they're like, okay, I make $100,000 a year, total monthly debt, $1,000, down payment, 0 interest rate. Right now they're like, what, 7? It's a lot now. A loan term, property tax, home insurance here in Florida, it's like $8,000 a year. No matter what you have, just to live in Florida is $8,000 for insurance. That was a joke, calm down. So we're gonna go through and calculate. So now it says you can afford a house around 174. Watch the difference. This is why the housing market is gonna take a turn, because it was 4% years ago. Watch what you can afford. Now you can afford less. Now we can go through and say, get financial advice. Now it's going to give personalized advice. Obviously, disclaimer the heck out of it. Say it's AI, all that fancy stuff. Have it write you a good disclaimer because you don't want people, you don't want to be liable for what AI says. It's just for informational purposes or whatever. So now it'll go through and it'll give personalized advice, and then I can look at what it does and I can build more into it, right? And then I just build it and grow it like we did with the pregnancy one. So now we have personalized financial snapshot, overall assessment. Based on the information, you are in a position where homeownership might be possible, but you have significant hurdles. Tightness of the estimated affordability. Strengths, your existing debt load is low. Good. Challenges, 0 down payment. So what do you do? This is what I wanted. I wanted to see if it would put what I was thinking in there. It did say FHA, VA, all of these. So that's cool. Affordability, lack of savings, conclusion. Nice. So it gives you like a whole rundown. That's pretty cool. How about a spot for credit score? And we can have a link, my affiliate link, where they can check credit. Boom. So now I can make money when they check that. Also, maybe loan options, which places have those specifics. And also talk about assumable loans, ECT. That's actually a really big one. Like if you look at assumable loans, you're going to see you got quite a few assumable loan people looking this stuff up, or assumable loan, $5,000 a month. You can go through and talk about the difference, right? You could go through and do an assumable versus standard or whatever. And starting to build and grow, what's happening is you're going through and building as you go. That's key. Cavendish says, entrepreneurs have a different mindset. I'm getting it done no matter what. Most people never make money because they have a blocker mindset instead. Well, I think a lot of people just don't. We're taught to be workers. And you go to work and you do what you do, and you get to $100 or whatever it is for the day, and you go home and you're like, okay, go there, get $100. And you're trained that time is money. Lie. Time is not money. If time was money, old people would be loaded, and they're not, right? Some of them aren't, some are. But time is not money. What is money is leverage. Being able to create something that will pay me over and over and give me that leverage is key. I've had times, I'll never forget it. I was, 2006, I think it was. I was like 27 years old, 26 years old, building my business, and I'll never forget, I would wake up in the morning, it'd be like 9 a.m., and I already made like $1,500. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. And I literally didn't even have to work for 2 years because the business just made money over and over, built and grew. And that's the secret, is looking at what can I build one time, maybe babysit it and make it better over time, but how can I make something now that's going to make me money over and over and over again? If I can make a tool like this, how much house can I afford? And I can fit with all those people looking for how much house can I afford, or rent versus own, or whatever it is, then I will be off to the races. Now, right now, Zillow has the lion's share of this traffic. Could I do better? Could I make a good tool that would do better than them and knock them out? I mean, if you were to look at what this one post is estimated at, this one post on Zillow. Now, granted, ladies and gentlemen, this is Zillow. Are you going to compete with Zillow? No, don't even try. Not going to happen. But can I do the best possible house affordability calculator? Because if I can, Zillow's getting about $250,000 worth of traffic a month for that one term. So, safe to say, there's money in that term. If I make a good tool, there should be money in it, right? Making sense? Obviously, it's not typical, implied, or guaranteed, but we're basing this based on data, and when I base it on data, it works. And we're seeing here, their house affordability tool is lame. We can do better. Like, there's literally just has a slider for how much you make, what's your monthly debt, what's your down payment. That's it. That's all it is. So, Can we do better? I think we kind of already did. Like ours is already better. Get AI financial advice. Let's see if it added all that. And ours, I mean, looking at theirs, ours is already better. Affordability, here's theirs, payment, whatever. Advanced, okay, so they got some advanced ones. And we can add that in there, right? Just give this to the tool. And I would probably make, okay, let's make a payment one too. Right, pretty cool. And now, personalized overall assessment, impact credit score. Did it okay, did have credit score on there, cool. Let's make it more visual and have like a grade. A, B, C, D, F, and show credit score big with range and where they are. Also, I want to find creative options based on if they don't have a down, want a no doc loan, ECT. Let's make this the best house afford calculator ever. Let's see what it does. Okay. Dontrez says, I made a mortgage calculator because I used to do mortgages and just wanted my own online. Yeah, and I had a mortgage calculator website. The best day with that, I think, was $1,700. It was paid traffic, so it wasn't all profit. Results not typical, implied, or guaranteed. Very few people have gotten those numbers. I did sell the website, but it was pretty solid. The key was getting them to spend more time on it, which that's what AI is going to do. Like, they'll sit there and talk to AI about houses because it helps them, right? So now let's go through, let's see how this comes out. How do you make a background remover AI? You would ask it to use the API, because the API is piggybacking on whatever the AI tool can do. So if it's Gemini, if it's DeepSeek, whatever it can do. DeepSeek, as far as I know, does not do images, so that one wouldn't do images. I wouldn't use that for a background. Gemini does, right? So you would just make the tool, tap into the API, boom, you're ready to go. Here's our text one. And it's like the font one. The font one was able to process an image and get the font from it. It was using the AI. You can even make, like, I don't know, like with the ones where people are making, you know, themselves in the little, like, superhero box or whatever it is, right? The little, like, I don't know, figurine, right? You could make that. And imagine, instead of everyone going to ChatGPT and using it, they just go to yours and they're like, oh, I want to be tall, and I want a cape, and I want high heel shoes on. Boom, it spits it out. That's going to get a lot of people, because then you don't have to do the prompt. You don't need a paid subscription. They could just use your tool all day, every day. So my home buyer report card is an F. My credit score is good, but it could be better. Here's my situation. Little to no down payment, self-employed, open to buying a fixer-upper. Excellent. Generate my report. I mean, are you guys seeing how that's why I took 20 to 30 hours to build mine. Because I'm like, I want it to be good, because I'm going to make money with this. Like, if I'm going to build something to make money, this is where people get wrong. They're like, oh, I'm just going to get a bunch of content spit out by AI. Yeah, so can everyone else. I'm not. I'm going to spend the time, use the AI to get the best piece of content possible. Boom, make that thing work. Iggy, if you're looking for the sign up for the class, you could just go to AIProfitScoop.com. And the link is right on the top here. It says join the AI Smart Tools class. Yesterday, we sold out all the pre-orders. So this thing's going fast. It is really cool. It's a small group. We're going to go through, hit the ground running. We're all going to make tools and make it work. And I'm going to show you where to find the tools, how to build the tools, how to make sure you have your APIs secure, everything like that. All kinds of, we're going to show you the business. It's going to be the nitty-gritty of how do I build tools, how do I build them with AI, how do I make it work. When you think about this, if you want the easy way to do it, you just go in here and you're like Keywords Explorer, WordPress, plugin. What kind of WordPress plugins do people want? Best SEO plugin for WordPress. Well, the best one's going to be an AI-enabled one. I can now make that. I mean, do you guys see the power of what you have? Like, when AI content came out, there was a window of like a year where you could do whatever the heck you wanted. Like, you could put content up, it ranked like crazy, boom, you're ready to go. It still does, but it's a little bit harder. This is that time again. Okay, now, I don't think critical mass is going to be hit that quick with this because people are too busy making giant tools. If I serve a small market, right, like maybe I do websites for dentists, websites for whatever, right, all kinds of stuff like that. Let's do website for dentist, okay? And we do website for dentist or website for church or whatever. All of these are people that are going to spend money on hosting and stuff like that. Maybe I can make a AI-enabled church website builder or something like that, right? Are you guys understanding that you have the power to do this stuff if you really want to? That's key. And if you understand that, now I can build pretty much whatever I want, right? I could do anything really. Let's do WordPress. Let's just do for WordPress or something like that. So WordPress themes. What WordPress theme is that? You can make a WordPress theme detector, right? So we go in and do, let's make a WordPress theme detector for my website. Okay, so we'll go ahead and build that first, then we'll add the AI to it, and then boom, we're off to the races. Really cool stuff that really works. Just go through, build it up, grow it, load it on your site, test it out, and that's the key. You just have to be willing to make it work and grow with it, and really think about what your market would want. Like, okay, if I'm doing a car price tool, okay, let's make a car loan calculator based on credit that gives them tips on getting a better price loan ECT. And it'll go through and it'll make it work. Robert says, as an example, the fiction writing niche, I can think of some cool tools to make, but the path to money. So in the fiction writing niche, you have people writing books, they want to be self-publishers. So what you want to do is use a tool like SpyFu and flip the market. So if you go SpyFu, right, like this, let's do SpyFu right here. And we'll go to SpyFu Home, and what we'll do is we'll do something like fiction writing prompts. Nothing. It's not going to be worth much at all. $239. It's higher than I thought, but still not much. If I do self-publishing or how to sell a book on Amazon, now we're into a market where there's more money. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to think about why they want the tool. That's everything. Just like when you write an article, why are they reading this? What's the point? Super key. All right, so now car loan and credit score calculator, credit score, term, down payment, whatever, boom. Now, let's add the API AI and have smart responses based on what they want. Car, MSRP, calculator, ECT, how much saved one loan versus another, how to maybe like enter the fees and see BS fees, on and on we go. Okay? Robert says, thanks very much. I want Marcus's mind. That's why the tools course is going to be so important, because that's what I'm going to do. We're just going to hammer it all out. Go through everything line by line, walk through it, make it work. Let's see here. And it's going to be a 4 or 5 part course. It is taught by myself and Alina, who does a lot of our coding and our tools and stuff. So you're going to get the best of both worlds. She's very good at teaching things in a slow, easy to understand way, where I'm more conceptual. So you're going to get both. All right, so now let's see how this works. And then to recap, the idea here is finding something, enabling it with an AI tool, solving a pain point that we know, right? What do people want? Master the lean tech stack, okay? You don't want to go crazy. Like, I pay a lot of money for AI tools. You don't need to. You don't want to get top heavy. That will crush you. Build your audience early. Start getting people in. Start getting them to use it. Try to break even. Try to make a little bit. Very simple. Embrace speed and iteration. Like, you shouldn't be spending more than a couple of weeks on your tool start to finish. And that's even if you're slow. Like for me, if I don't have a tool in 2 days, if it's a complicated one, 2 days. If it's easy, if I don't have it in a few hours, I'm starting to have, starting to rethink my idea there. Understanding your unit economics. What does it cost? How much are you going to make? How are you going to make it? Are you going to build a list? What are you going to do to make this work? Very, very simple. We have to really simplify our marketing process and make it work. Let's see how this one looks. Okay, so here's our what is WordPress theme detector now in Canvas, so I can have a demo. Okay, so here's our car loan thing, calculate. So it's going to give you some AI insights. That translator AI, can you tell AI to add other languages? You could do whatever you want. Yeah, it'll do literally anything. Joe says, during the ideation process, simply put yourself in your audience's chair, ask the AI questions. Exactly. And that's the key, is like, AI is good for learning, and it's also good for like, oh, negotiation. Okay, I saw that here. How do we build on that? Let's see. Or was negotiation? I thought I saw that here. There you go, negotiable. That's cool. And maybe they could put their fees in or whatever. Let's do this. Oh, this would be cool. Can we have them upload the deal in PDF or whatever and get a grade for the car deal? That'd be cool. Like if they can upload it, because like when I go buy a car, I never go to the dealer. Because it's like, okay, I don't need to test drive it. If it's a new car, you know what it looks like. Go test drive it. Don't plan on buying it. Come home, find all the people who have the cars you want, email them all. You'll know very quickly who's going to give you a deal, and then grind that deal out as best you can. I do that all the time. And even when car prices were nuts a couple years ago, I still saved a bunch of money. What I'm doing is I'm looking to put that process into a tool, because not a lot of people know how to do that. Not a lot of people know how to, like, that's kind of a lost art. Most people just go pay for a car now, which, I don't know, being my age, I'm kind of sad about that. I'm like, no, I don't want the car dealers to win. I want to make money. I want to save money. Because a lot of it does junk fees and things. That's why Carvana and all these companies are running the show right now, because people don't want to do that. And we saw what happens. Carvana in the beginning was cheap. Now it's expensive. Carvana in the beginning paid a fortune for your car. Now they pay very little. And that's what happens here. And if we can teach this stuff in here, boom, there you go. Maybe even like, you know what would be cool? Check this out. This is where, okay, there's your theme detector. I'm getting ahead of myself. And this is what you're going to see in the class, is like lots of cool things like this. What I was thinking here is, let's go to Canvas, and I'm thinking, like, how many of you guys are irritated that we used to pay for cable TV, and now you got to have Hulu, and you got to have Netflix, and you got to have this, and you got to have that. And if you want to watch this show, you need 14 of these and a new app, and you got to go buy a new TV because your TV doesn't even use the app. It's like, just give me the old cable. I was happy just paying one time and flipping the channels. I don't need 400 remotes. I feel like I'm getting old. at any rate. So what I would do is say, let's make a channel, a TV app overlap finder where I can enter the shows I like, see where they are streaming, and see which apps I can get rid of. Matt's the same way. Okay, I don't feel that old because I know Matt's younger than me, so there we go. But now we're looking at this, or like I can get rid of. So like if I watch, I don't know, Cops or whatever, which apps could I get rid of? If I like to watch these 9 shows, which ones do I need? Sports Play. I know, it's like you got to watch football on the YouTube, and you got to watch this over here, and you got to have 19 TVs, and half people are on their phone anyway. It's getting old. I cut the cord, don't watch TV shows anymore. You binge watch my videos. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And the 9 cents I get from that. Very, very cool. But hopefully you guys get good value out of this. It's a great tool. You can find where it's streaming. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I agree. Nothing more aggravating than watching a hockey game and they freeze for 5 minutes. Totally. And yes, we want to watch hockey. I wasn't even paying attention. Who won the cup? Did that finish already? I usually watch it. I was going to go to one of the games, but I just got super busy. Let's see here. So now we have the streaming TV finder. That would be good for sports. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, now we're getting into a territory. For those that think Marcus just woke up one day and made videos about how to make money, I made money long before I started teaching this stuff. One of the sites I had, which we have old videos on my website where I made the site, made money live, was a football site. It was showing, hey, if I want to watch the Niners, what time are they on today? It was really cool. Florida won? All right, go Florida. It wasn't the Tampa, though. I root for Tampa just because, I don't know, that's my team. All right, so now we have add your favorite shows, NFL, add show. Okay, so let's do, I don't know, what's a show? Cops, is that still on? All right, so you would have to fix it up with the API, but that would be something that would work well. Let's make it for sports. Like if I want to watch games outside my area, when are they on? What are they on? ECT. You don't like Tampa? All right, I like Tampa. And I'll watch whoever is a good game. I mean, back in the day, I was a Red Wings fan. The Red Wings, I mean, that's a team. That's a good team. It's in 1985. I saw that the other day. I was on the TV, and I think they do new ones now. How do you get traffic? We create 10 tools. How do we market it? So what you're going to do to market it is you could either pay for traffic, you could do a press release, you can actively promote it, you can make videos about it, all kinds of stuff. The Sharks, I like the Sharks. I was in the Bay Area for a while, and we would go to Sharks games. They were a good team. Please, Marcus, I want to join one of your courses, but which should I join that's different? So if you can swing it, I highly recommend the tools class, which you can get at AIProfitScoop.com. Just click this big link right at the top of AI Profit Scoop. That's a class we are starting next week. It's an amazing class all about tools. You get a bunch of bonuses. A lot of good stuff in there. I would say that is by far the best one. Now, if that's out of range, check our other ones. All of our courses are good. They get you in the same place. You can always upgrade later. But yeah. Chicago, that's a good team. I haven't followed them much. But yeah, so now we can create this tool. Okay, I want to watch the Jaguars. Find the games. Hey, this is pretty cool. That's pretty good. And then you could even be an affiliate of the places to watch them. Let's say Orlando Magic. There we go. When are they going to lose again? Right. Fun, though. Orlando Magic is a fun team to watch. I like going to those games. So Friday, that's a little early for a basketball game. But at any rate, you get the idea, and you can see where to watch them. The Cowboys, there you go. So now I can watch all of them, right? Toronto Maple Leafs, they're pretty good too. What's a press release? A press release is a piece of content that you submit to news outlets and they push it out all over the place online. As long as your topic is newsworthy, which an AI tool would be, there you go, right? Now you're ready. Maybe something like, AI tools for realtors or something like that that's newsworthy would help. So awesome stuff. What you're going to do is go through, find something you can make, test it out, really work with it, look at the profit margin, look at how you can build it, how you can grow it, and kind of go from there. And then drive traffic to it. Think about your monetization. Can I build a mailing list? Am I going to drive them straight to a money method? What am I going to do to make this work? And if you like that, check out AIProfitScoop.com. You can join the tools class right up here. It's going to be at least a 4 or 5 part class, maybe more depending on how it goes. It's going to be really hard hitting, so be ready to get in there and make tools and stuff like that. I think it would be really good. So check that out. Other links, you can get the notes at downloadmynotes.com or AIProfitScoop.com. We'll have the list of tools over there as well. I'll put those up later today. Email them out, and we'll go from there. So thanks for being here. Smash that like button. Build some tools with AI, and let's have fun. See you guys in the next video.